Hello, welcome to Simple IELTS. Today we will talk about IELTS Writing Task 2, especially cause and solution essay. So, in this lesson, we will learn four things, which are what a cause and solution essay is, structure of a cause and solution essay, how to make a plan before writing a cause and solution essay, and lastly, how to write a cause and solution essay. So, first of all, I would like to discuss a little bit about what is a cause and solution essay. So, in essence, a cause and solution essay is an essay where you provide a cause and a solution. So, by the way, they can be plural or more than one for a problem. So, and the problem can be seen in the topic statement below. For example, after serving their first prison time, a lot of offenders commit even more crimes. So, this is the topic statement um, that that is the source of the problem. And then there are two questions. Why is this happening? So this question asks about the cause of this situation, and then what are the means to overcome this issue. So this asks about the solutions, and also there's an instruction that we have to follow. First is that give reasons for your answer. So we have to provide reasons for your answers. And secondly, include any relevant examples from your own knowledge. So we have to give the examples based on our own knowledge. So there are also two rules that we have to comply with. First is that you should spend about 40 minutes on this task. So we only have 40 minutes to do this. And then write at least 250 words. So the minimum number of words that have to be written down is that 250. Fewer than 250, you will lose your marks. Okay, so that's a little bit about what is a cause and solution essay. So next, we'll talk about how to plan for a cause and solution essay. Always remember that the topic statement is after serving their first prison time, a lot of offenders commit even more crimes. So the first thing you have to do before writing an essay is that you have to gather ideas on what to write. So you have um, something like a source to write down your essay. It will it will be helpful for you. Okay. Okay, to answer the first question, why is this happening? Gathering ideas can be exemplified like this. So prisoners or bad people can be bad because they lack useful skills. They do crimes, they commit crimes because they are not well educated and they lack useful skills. So that's why they become a drug trafficker or they become a bank robber to gain income. Also, it can be written prison can be a school for criminals. By that I mean there can be a transfer of knowledge between prisoners in the prison. For example, a thief can inform his cellmates on how to steal a watch or a wallet in a glimpse of an eye in a very quick seconds. Okay, so that's an example on how to write causes. And then about the solutions, what are the means to overcome this issue? We can write that we should equip prisoners, or the government should equip prisoners with vocational skills, or skills that can be useful for work, such as accounting, and then cooking or hairstyling. Also, another solution can be impose harsher punishment for recidivists so that it can deter them and they may think twice before recommit some other crimes. Okay, so that's an example. Those are examples on how to gather ideas on what to write. And then the next thing we have to do, other than gather ideas on what to write, is prepare synonyms. We should prepare synonyms because vocabulary is one of the criteria in IELTS writing. Okay, so because the topic statement is about prison and criminals, crime, so we have to prepare synonyms for them. So prison can be written as jail or incarceration or penitentiary. As for offender or bad people who commit crimes, can be written perpetrator, felony, outlaw, recidivist, or reoffender. Reoffender and recidivist have the same meaning, which mean they are people who previously have done another crime. Okay, and then for crime, we can write wrongdoing or felon. Okay, so that's how to plan for a cause and solution essay. And then next we'll talk about essay structure. So in order to write a systematic essay, we have to know the structure of a cause and solution essay. Normally, it consists of three parts. First is introduction, normally written in paragraph 1, and body. This is where we write down in details about the causes and solutions. About the causes, we can write them in paragraph 2, and solutions can be written in the third paragraph. And the last paragraph, or the fourth paragraph, is conclusion, which is a summary of the body, summary of the causes and the solutions. Okay, let's talk about introduction first. So in introduction, I would suggest that you spend 5 minutes to write it down. Why? Because in IELTS Writing Test 2, we only have 40 minutes. So we have to allocate our time in the most efficient manner. So in my experience, 5 minutes is enough to do this. And there are two things that you have to do in writing introduction. First is paraphrase the topic statement. Paraphrase means write in your own words the topic statement. For example, repeating criminal activities become more popular among former inmates after finishing their first incarceration. So, in paraphrasing or in rewriting this topic statement in our own words, we have to write down the synonyms. For example, a lot of offenders commit even more crimes. I changed it into repeating criminal activities. And then, after finishing their first prison time, has the same meaning with after finishing their first incarceration. So we have to write the topic statement in our own words. In essence, it's like that, okay? So that's the first thing you have to do. And then the second thing that you have to do is explain that you are going to write the causes and solutions. For example, this essay intends to enlighten about why perpetrators break the law again, despite they have been jailed before, and the measures to clear up the issue. So the aim or the purpose of this essay is to explain why criminals recommit crimes, although they have been previously jailed or prisoned, and the measures or the solutions. So the causes is this about why perpetrators blah 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 blah, and then solutions, the measures to clear up the issue. So that's those are the two things that we have to write down regarding causes and solutions in introduction. So in order to write a systematic essay in introduction, we have to explain these two. So the reader will have a predetermined idea on what we're going to write or what the reader is going to read. So it makes the reader's life easier, or it makes the reader easier to understand or read our essay. Okay, so that's about introduction. And then move on to body or detailed explanations. And the first thing that we have to write down is causes, which is normally written in paragraph 2. About time, I would suggest you spend 10 minutes to do this because it's kind of long, so 10 minutes I believe is sufficient. Remember in the planning part previously that we have discussed, there are two causes, which are lack of skills and prison can be a school for criminals. So the first thing you have to do in writing the second paragraph or writing the causes is write the main idea, which is there are two causes of why criminals recommit crimes. We can write it down like this: there are several reasons behind this issue. So in this paragraph, we're going to talk about several reasons or two causes about why criminals recommit crimes. And then move on to the next sentence. This is where you explain the first cause or lack of skills, and then you provide an example. This is an example. First, outlaws lack useful skills, and that may lead to unemployment. Outlaws has the same meaning with offenders or bad guys. And then, consequently, in order to gain income, becoming a drug trafficker or a bank robber seems to be a compelling idea. Consequently, um, so in order to survive, because they are unemployed, becoming a drug trafficker or a bank robber can be an interesting idea to those outlaws. By the way, in providing an example, it doesn't have to be an example. It's okay if you write down a consequence of an idea, for example, a consequence of this cause, this lack of skills. If you write the consequence, there's no problem. It has the same meaning with an example. Okay, and then the next sentence, you write about or you explain the second cause, which is prison can be a school for criminals, and then provide an example. Secondly, a prison can be a school for criminals where it is casual to transfer crime knowledge from one to another. For instance, a thief informs his cellmates on how to snitch a pocket in a glimpse of an eye. Okay, so that's a discussion or an explanation about how to write causes in the second paragraph. And then next we're going to talk about how to write solutions, which is written in the third paragraph. And I suggest you spend 10 minutes to write the solutions, same as the amount of time that you use to write the causes. Because it's long, spend 10 minutes is enough. And remember that in the planning part, we already discussed that there are two solutions, which were equip prisoners with vocational skills and then impose harsher punishment, for example, or e.g., longer prison time for recidivists. And the first thing you have to do is write the main idea. Same with how you write uh, the causes paragraph. Write the main idea. There are two solutions. For example, we can write this like this one. How to tackle the problem at hand. It can be done in a couple of ways. In a couple of ways, reverse to there are two solutions. Okay. So let's explain the first solution. Initially, equipping these people with vocational skills might come in handy or might be useful. Practical know-how or practical skills, they have the same meaning, such as bookkeeping, cooking, and hairstyling are viable options to prepare them for life after being incarcerated. So, practical skills or practical know-how such as bookkeeping or accounting, cooking, and hairstyling are helpful knowledge to prepare them to get a job after being imprisoned. And then the second solution that we should explain is that additionally, the government is encouraged to impose harsher punishment, e.g., longer prison time with regular episodes of solitary confinement. The aim of the latter notion is twofold, which are to reduce the possibility of crime education, as well as to induce them to think twice before drowning themselves in other illegal activities. So, the purpose of solitary confinement is to avoid any transfer knowledge of crime between the inmates, between the prisoners. That has the same meaning with crime education, as well as to deter them or induce them to think twice before drowning themselves in other illegal activities. Okay, so that is an example of how you write solutions in the third paragraph. And next, we're going to talk about conclusion. This is the last part. Normally, conclusion is written in the fourth paragraph, and because this is short, I suggest you spend 5 minutes to write this. Okay, and then the first thing you have to do is summarize the causes. In conclusion, because of the lack of sufficient competences, as well as the sharing of insights on violence in penitentiary, former convicts find it difficult to escape a dark life. So, sufficient competences has the same meaning with lack of skills. And then, sharing of insights on violence in penitentiary has the same meaning with transfer knowledge of crime between inmates. In prison, prison has the same meaning with penitentiary. And then, about how to summarize the solution, which is the second thing that we have to do in conclusion, we can write like this one. The government ought to provide them with work-related skills, and applying a heavier sanction for recidivists is recommended. Okay, so that's an example of how you write conclusion. And then I'm going to show you the full example of this essay that we have been talking about from introduction in the first paragraph, and then about the causes in the second paragraph, solutions in the third paragraph, and lastly about conclusions in the fourth paragraph. So this is the full example of the essay, and the number of words are 264. So this is more than 250, which is the requirement for IELTS Writing Task 2. Okay, so that's my explanation on IELTS Writing Task 2, especially cause and solution essay. Thank you for watching this video until the end, and see you in my other videos.